Get your popcorn ready, boys, because we have another amazing best of 3 series here on Khaldor TV. The Dreamhack Bucharest Qualifier is still ongoing, and this is the grand final now of the qualification tournament for the PGL Champions of the Storm tournament that is being held in Bucharest at the end of April. And this is going to be a great game. I hope that you are ready for this, because this is going to be fun. We have Nexo going up against SK Gaming, and SK Gaming they've been doing extremely well. Let's just put it like that. And at the same time, Nexo, of course, one of the top teams that we have in Europe, especially after they now also have Blackscorp on their roster, former LDLC player. And Blackscorp himself, of course, still one of the best players for Zeratul, especially on the European server. And Zeratul is actually the hero that he can play in the first game against SK Gaming now as well. And SK is changing things up here a bit with their combination too. They are playing Falstad in the first game, and this is of course just the beginning of a best of 3 series with a lot of action of Heroes of the Storm. So guys, let's get ready for game number 1 between SK Gaming and Nexo here at the Dreamhack Bucharest Qualifier.
The final series of the day, the final best of 3 at the Dreamhack Bucharest Qualifier for the PGL Champions of the Storm tournament. We have Nexo going up against SK Gaming. To the left side of the map in blue, it is Nexo with Vortex on Vala. Blackscorp again with the Zeratul, not banned out here, so he's pretty happy about this one. Grand Paquetto on Malfurion, we have Lucifron on ETC and Falcon on Sergeant Hammer. To the right side of the map, it is our Ragi on Stitches for SK Gaming. Bakery playing Falstad here. Zamoni on Tyrande, Snitch on Illidan, and Rave on Rhaegar. Rave played Rhaegar the entire time, like he's the stand-in for the team, and he was just able to get that hero every single time that he wanted him. So this is of course map number 1, Cursed Hollow, and let's check out how this game is going to work out, especially for SK Gaming. They've been doing really well. We've seen them against Fnatic today, we've seen them against Gamers 2, now they are up against Nexo, their biggest challenge so far in this tournament, and let's find out if they're able to master that. They have Aragi again on Stitches with Regeneration Master as a level 1 talent, Vala with a multi-shot build for Nexo, and we're also seeing Blackscorp going straight for that reduction cooldown talent on level 1, going for the rapid displacement. At the bot lane, it's Falcon with advanced artillery going up against the tri-lane. At least it was a tri-lane until Rhaegar decided that he is going for a walk. That's actually like the best dog ever. Walks itself. You don't have to do anything. You don't need to get a leash for that. Rhaegar played by Rave, the substitute play in every single game. Like, he always gets his Rhaegar. And yeah, for now Falcon on Sergeant Hammer here. We're having Blackscorp in the mid lane going up against Snitch. Is that Illidan against Zeratul match that we have? So a bit of a death match between the two of them. At the bot lane, that's where we're seeing the bot lane is getting really crowded here. 6 heroes at the bot lane, tri-lane versus tri-lane. At the top it is Stitches going up against Vala. And for now we're having just like both of the teams trying to not only get 1 or 2 structures down, but of course it's all about getting that early lead here, trying to get those. It's always a question, do you really want to go for the tributes? Do you want to contest them? Do you try to just have a heartbeat on the lane and get maybe an experience lead over your opponent while they are rotating to get the tribute, and then you will have the earlier level 10, but you will have to fight for that last tribute, of course, as much as you can. So that's always the question that you have to answer for yourself then. Falcon is suddenly in trouble. Oh my god, he's losing a lot of hit points there. He was really about to die. Grand Paquette is saving him here with a heal, and all that slow that we saw really coming into play. Moving on Malfurion, Healing Ward taken, with ETC going straight for the Echo Paddle on level 4, and will then use Guitar Hero on level 7 most likely. Stitches in this case with the Regeneration Master, and being the single tank in the team is going straight for Amplified Healing, whereas we're having the Gathering Power built together with the Hammerang talent and Power Throw here on Falstad. It is Tyrande, of course, a hero that Zamonia has been played in every single game. Well, not in every single game, but in a lot of games of today already, that goes for the protective shield over the healing wall, which is a bit of a trend when Zamonia is going for the hero here. He can really start to support Illidan later on in the game a lot, especially with Rhaegar supplying the heals there. Farsight also being used on the dog, and oh, Stitches at the top eliminated. That tri-lane going straight for that. Lucifron, of course, great to push him back there, and Blackscorp, he's very, very mobile with his attacks. We saw that earlier already. in other games. And this is actually like a really, really nice timing that they had there. A nice block also by Blackscorp, eating that owl and making sure that Lucifron does not have a problem capturing out that tribute. Actually, as is, it hit Lucifron after all, but just a second too late. But the intention was there. I mean, A for effort. Blackscorp at least trying to pull it off. Didn't really work for them, but it's all good in the end. It was still just enough time to get that. Moving down. Oh, nice! Bakery actually in trouble. Oh, Blackscorp. That was a good one. Trying to get the damage in there, but Bakery healed and stunned by Zamoni. Job well done. Grandpa Keta ready with the heals and having that ready. Level 7 for both of them now. Both teams, that is. We're seeing battle momentum already taken. First aid twice, not only on Zeratul, but also on Sergeant Hammer. And usually for Blackscorp, that was also the cue to just like rotate even harder on the map and trying to put some pressure onto the lanes, which is probably exactly what we didn't see from him. Rave is gonna do his thing here with Rhaegar and just trying to get the additional camps. And with Rhaegar, you can really do that a lot. That's one of the great things about Rhaegar, that you are able to just like jump through the camps, get all of those mercenaries on your own. You don't really need help for that. Might take you a bit longer, but still, with that lightning shield and then also the heal, you can really do a lot of work here. There comes that annoying owl again. There was a time where there was a bit of a bug where you could get extra cooldown reduction on the owl, and it was absolutely ridiculous because you could stun out or interrupt like everybody who wanted to get that particular tribute all that time. There was no way to negate that. Got banned in the tournament for quite some time. Blackscorp actually really low there for a second. He needs to be back, but it looks like Grandpa Keta might be out of luck. Even with the healing ward that he just dropped, it looks bad. Yep, that's the first blood here for SK Gaming. The first kill early on, of course, against Stitches, but now we're having one tribute against the tribute. And the first kill for SK Gaming, yeah, they're trying to use that to build up some momentum and put the pressure onto the bot lane. Zamoni could get the stun against Falcon, and yes, he gets it, and the Hunter's Mark as well. Falcon just speeding away with a thrusters in the last second there. That was an important one. Could have died here with another... Yeah, if actually Stitches would have been there with a hook, I think he would not have had a chance. But in this case, with thrusters ready, he can get away. Just barely, but it works out for them. So we're having now level 10s hitting faster for El Nexo, the Spanish team, doing well so far with the strafe on Vala, getting the extra damage ready. We're having good old ETC up at the top lane, going straight for his stage dive, and Napalm being used for Sergeant Hammer, as Tranquility has been chosen for Malfurion. On the other hand, SK Gaming right now getting their ultimates ready as well with the Shock and All, which was renamed, of course, a couple of patches ago into the Hinterland Blast. We're having also the Ancestral Healing, which Illidan is going to be very thankful about. Illidan is always one of those heroes who wants to go ham. He wants to jump in, he wants to be disruptive, he wants to do the damage, and he always needs some support in the back line so that he can really dish all that out without having to be too scared about dropping. And his healing, his first aid already helps him with that. If Rhaegar is granting him a lightning shield and the ancestral healing, he's completely happy. And that's exactly what we're going to see there later on. And that's also why Zamoni went for the protective shield over the healing ward, because it just helps Illidan a lot more. Illidan is a hero that needs support. He's a hero that you have to play in certain combos, but if you do, he's extremely strong. And there he is once again, jumping in, and oh my god, that Hinterland Blast! Dropping Vala, turning that into a 4 versus 5. Zamoni actually getting healed with the ancestral healing, but that works just out. Got a bit delayed by the Void Prism there. They get that tribute. That's a second tribute for them. Do they get more than that? Doesn't really look like it, but SK Gaming getting their second kill in and doing very well with that. So 2 kills for SK Gaming already, 2 tributes as well, rotating through the map, getting a slight lead in experience right now, and Snitch just jumping in straight for that. Another thing that is really cool about Illidan, in case that you haven't really played him just yet, is that he doesn't need mana or any kind of resource like that. He is completely cooldown based, and that is extremely cool. That's extremely fun to play with, but of course what a lot of people still don't really realize is that Illidan, he needs support. We've been talking about that a second ago, but I want to stress that once more. You really need somebody to support him, especially in the later stage of the game. If you don't have a healer, he dies just way too fast if he gets focused. So Illidan, if you duo Q in Hero League, if you duo Q in quick matches, and you want to play Illidan, then you should always make sure that your partner is going to play something like Rhaegar, something like Uther, and is going to give you some support. And Nexo sneaks the boss in. We have a boss now at the bot lane, marching for El Nexo, and another one up at the top lane doing work for SK Gaming, dropping through that wall. But once again, there is a tribute, and that is a great position for SK. They really want to have the tribute there, and if they can catch this one, that would put the curse onto El Nexo, and that would of course be really, really bad. So far we have Bay Green not jumping in, and that's a bit of a problem for them. I mean, he's flying in right now. Oh, nice attempt against Black Scorp there, but he blinks away in the last second. That was really well done by him, actually. If he dies there, then yeah, then El Nexo is in trouble. They get cursed, and they have a huge problem. Black Scorp jumping in, using the wormhole here on level 13 to jump back out once again. Life Seed chosen on good old Malfurion with a frost shot on Vala, Uber Rockstar on ETC. And we're having the Feral Lunch in actually Illidan going for the passive build, not going for Giant Killer himself. That's something that only Falster did in this game on the side of SK Gaming. We're having Sergeant Hammer doing that for El Nexo as well. Ah, there's the tribute. No, not just yet. Interrupt in the last second. They're really trying to fight for that. The bot lane, by the way, is still being attacked by the boss here. Boss is doing a lot of work against this. Oh, they need to be careful. Our Ragi with a Putrid Bile gets healed in the last second and saves himself into the Void Prison. Black Scorp is low. Vala gets nearly the entire ult through. A lot of damage done. Level 14 versus 13 in favor of El Nexo. Good hook against Grand Paquette. Oh, Malfurion about to die. Goes down here. Oh, and another Hinterland Blast, but Illidan this time is dead. There was just not enough heal available, and Zamoni is not making it. No, B was too slow already, and then Vala hits another Frost Shot and just slows him down way too much. Tyrande with no chance of escape here. 3 kills against 3, and they take the opportunity to go straight for the hard cap, steal that away from the opponent. Not even with a vision can they do anything about that, and our Ragi only gets one of the mercenaries here, not able to really hit Black Scorp. Oh, Rave jumping in with a Feral Lunge here, but Black Scorp getting away after all. It was a close one, but he gets away, and at the top lane we had Lucifron starting to push in against the 4 together with the Wave that just made her way in. 15 against 14, the level that we're having for the two teams just now, and that of course puts El Nexo a lot closer to the next talent with level 16. Relentless for Stitches. That entire build that we're seeing for our Ragi is just focused on staying alive and providing the tank at the front line to suck up as much damage as you possibly can. At the same time, though, it is Snitch that is going to be the really important hero for the team. If they jump in, then they need Illidan to stay alive for as long as possible, which is where usually Rhaegar comes into play. And that's exactly what they are, of course, trying for. Zamoni with the protective shield did a good job in the last battle, but they just couldn't keep him alive for too long. I mean, it was a good hook that they had against Malfurion, and then they were trying to take him out, and once they got him out of the fray, Illidan just had to move in really deep, and that exposed him to a lot of damage, and El Nexo was using that to just drop him as a counterpart. Now we have the level 16 talent, 1 level lead currently for El Nexo, and they are looking at 1 blood for blood at the double bombs on Zeratul with the double singularity spike, and another thing, of course, that they're going to have, which is really going to help them in the next battle, is the Executioner talent on Sergeant Hammer, which helps with Vala having Frost Shot, with also ETC, with the roots that we're seeing from Malfurion, the singularity spikes in particular from Zeratul, and then also it's the opposing presence that is going to make it a bit easier. Yeah, here comes ETC jumping in. Nice move here. They're about to kill our Ragi. They're getting in position for that already. Oh, not getting it just yet. Vortex with so much damage. They drop Stitches, and Snitch is completely cut off from the rest of the team. And as mentioned before, without support, he's not gonna make it. Wow, his shield just barely keeping him alive. But they lost Zeratul. They are going to get that tribute though, and that will put the curse onto SK Gaming. I mean, they could have killed Illidan, I guess, maybe. If Vortex gets a bit close and gets another Frost Shot in there, then Illidan is not going to make it. But as is, it was an exchange and kills, a 1-for-1, but the tribute ends up in the hands of the Spanish team. And the Spanish Armada is making their way through the mid lane, trying to take down another fort here, going straight for this one. And that extra talent is doing so much work. I mean, just that talent alone really helping El Nexo to get those battles won, to just like win that fight, get that tribute. And now SK Gaming is 16 as well. They have a fishing hook talent here. Oh, what? Falcon is being just eradicated. He's erased from the game. and within a second he dies. And of course, also helping out is Bakery here. Dodging that second singularity spike. Well done. With a double blood for blood on Rhaegar and Illidan is going to help in those fights as well, especially to keep Illidan alive, giving him a bit of an HP boost in those situations. Snitch jumping in, actually getting stunned from the boss regardless. At the bot lane, it's a very similar scenario that we're seeing from the Nexo. Both of the teams again going for those bosses. And yeah, they're able to get it. So bosses pushing in those lanes again. And at the bottom lane, as you can see, most of the structures are already eliminated. So if they don't want to lose that particular keep, they have to move over here and make sure that they defend with every single player that they have in the team. Not only for the DPS reasons, but also so that nobody else is caught out on the map. Having Black Scorp moving straight up to that siege camp at the top, and that is going to help them defend against the boss, at least if you're something like this. Falcon is already doing his thing in the back line, being sieged up there and taking down a boss. Now Black Scorp a bit too late to really contribute anything to that particular defense, but they don't really need to. I mean, this is going to push the top lane out, at least for now. Keep taking some damage over here, but with 5 heroes defending against that, as already mentioned, there's very little that they could do for that. So up to the top, we're currently having Vortex being scouted out. We're also seeing another camp taken, this time from SK. And I mean, for both of the teams, it's really just about getting those mercenaries onto the lanes, waiting for the next team fight. SK knows that they will hit level 20 a bit later than their opponents, so they would probably like to take a fight before that happens. And it's all about the next tribute on the map, which is going to be an important one for SK Gaming. If they get it, they will put the curse on El Nexo. If they don't, well, they could let it pass, I guess. It depends on if they want to fight now or not, because they can force that issue. They are the team that has the option to really force the fight or let it go, depending on what they want to do. And I think it's going to depend a lot on the position where the tribute is going to be at. If they get into a position first, it's going to be great for them, but it's always important that they either close the distance and experience, close that gap, or that they force a fight before the level 20 hits for El Nexo, because El Nexo is going to try and utilize that as much as they can. And if they can run with that level 20 talent advantage, then they might win one of those important team fights that can then decide the game. So right now we're having the tribute up at the top, both of the teams rotating over for that. Oh, there's Black Scorp already, trying to just interrupt the team as much as he can. Wraith healing out that damage that was dished out, and El Nexo has to fight. If they don't fight here, then they are going to be cursed. Here comes Napalm and the hook and stun. Nice. Very well done here. Lucifer jumps in. Napalm is getting in again. And here comes Vortex using his strafe immediately. Tyrande down. Vala as well. Rhaegar being dropped. And without the heal, there's very little they can do. Aragi is trying to stay alive, of course, but Lucifer with a power slide just passes him. Singularity Spike is slowing him down. And that is the battle ending in favor of El Nexo. The Spanish Armada victorious once again, at least in the fight here. They get the tribute. They have level 19 versus level 18. It's 7 kills against 6. A trade with 1 versus 3. And they are already on the prowl once again, trying to look for an opportunity to add a 4th kill to that particular battle. We're having them just like breaking straight through the wall at the top now, taking down tower after tower with a fantastic coordination in the last battle that we saw there. Really well done, and especially that Void Prism saving Vala just a bit longer and allowing her to get that ult through, another multi-shot in, allowing ETC to jump into the battle, and they take the keep. And that is, of course, like the best that they could get out of the situation. They're very close to level 20. They have 1 keep already taken down into the level 20 talent. They should be able to do even more than that. And that also means that even if another tribute is spawning on the map, there's just no way for SK to really contest that unless El Nexo screws up. But the 20 talent gave them Nexus Frenzy on Sergeant Hammer, which is going to put an insane amount of damage out now. We're having Rock God being used by Lucifer as the 20 on ETC, which is a great talent to have. And Black Scorp is already a beast, and Zeratul as is, but once you have Rewind on the hero as well, it is absolutely ridiculous what he can do with it. And that's exactly what they're going to try and do here right now. So there comes the hook again against Lucifer, but he power slides away. This time the coordination between Zamoni's stun and Aragi's hook was not as perfect as before. And they're trying to go for the tribute. Here comes the at least 1 singularity spike against Snitch. Black Scorp gets healed again. Rock God activated. They're going for Rhaegar, and they get him. Rhaegar is down. Here comes the setup Oh, nice. Going straight into the roots. Yeah, Black Scorp surviving. Down goes not only Zamoni, but also Falstead. Very well done. Void Prism into entangling roots, and the setup was absolutely perfect. Snitch is being dropped now too. The 20 talent here really coming into play with all that extra damage that we just saw. And El Nexo, they take map number 1. They take Cursed Hollow against their opponents here in the grand final of the qualifier. The GG already called by Black Scorpio, actually. Well, there it is. The game is over. Well done by El Nexo here. They take the lead in the best of 3 series against SK Gaming.
El Nexo takes Cursed Hollow, and once again, it's true, you should never allow Black Scorp to get that Zeratul. I mean, this guy is just doing so much work. Zeratul, just a hero that is so extremely mobile on the map, and he is using it to that full extent. Just jumping in, jumping out with Wormhole then on level 13, and this guy just does so much damage. El Nexo once again showing that they are a force to be reckoned with, taking down SK Gaming here on the first map. And we're gonna go into the second one right now. We are going into game number 2 between SK Gaming and El Nexo. We're gonna find out if SK can turn things around, force out a third map, or if El Nexo is strong enough to take down SK Gaming with a 2-0 without dropping a single map here on the grand final of the Dreamhack Bucharest qualifier.
Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, here in the best of 3 series at the final of the qualifier for Dreamhack Bucharest 2015 for Heroes of the Storm. SK Gaming going up against El Nexo. And to the left side of the map, there's Spaniards with Vortex on Tyrande, Black Scorp on Zebo, this time not able to get his Zeratul into the game. We're having Grand Paquette on Uther, Lucifron on Chen, and Falcon on Sergeant Hammer. To the right side of the map, it's Bakery on Vala, Oragi on Stitches for SK Gaming, Zamoni on ETC, Snitch on Tychus, and Rave. Guess what? He's playing Rhaegar. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Like, that is complete. It is like something completely new. I mean, him on Rhaegar, what's going on? Interesting enough is that we see a Rancor build on the side of Vala in this case. So Bakery going for a right-click build, at least from judging from the level 1 talent. Could of course also a bit of a hybrid build that we're going to see here, but time will tell. We have, besides that, for most of the heroes, very much the normal talents that you would see there. An immediate push into the mid lane with 5 heroes. 5-man mid, YOLO! And Black Scorp is just moving in, sees that and is like, what the hell? So it's going to be that 4-man rotation from mid to bot lane on the Dragonshire, which you actually see quite often. It's usually like an 8-second move that you have there. Every 8 seconds you are changing the lane, and you can do a lot with that. And the idea is not only to just like crush those waves, but also to try and maybe like take a target down if somebody overextends a bit. In this case now, that didn't really happen just yet, but you can really see those moves. So Stitches once again in a comp together with ETC. This is something that SK really likes to play, and it's an interesting like comp in general. Like you hook a target in and then you play ping pong with a target, then you just power slide beside it, you go for face melt, you have maybe even the grenade on Snitch that can even do more than that. So it's a pretty fun comp to play, and you have with Uther also a great stun. So in this case, Uther is being played by Grand Paquette, which is most likely also one of the reasons why the team took Uther in the first place, and take it away from DTC. And Tyrande is also, away from Stitches. And Rave with his Rhaegar is about to do... Whoa, no way! Gets away here, unbelievable. Rhaegar able to escape. I already saw him going down. I thought for sure that he was the first victim in the game here. We have Uther and Tyrande taken away from Stitches. So it's in all of those drafts, it's oftentimes not only about what you really would like to have, but it's also what you need to take away from your opponent. And having Stitches in a comp with ETC is already nasty enough. If then you add additional stun with either the Lunar Flare on Tyrande or the stun on Uther, then you have a really, really deadly comp there. So it makes a lot of sense that El Nexo was trying to get that away from their opponent. We're having now Arsenal taken, even though Rancor was used on level 1 from Bakery, going for Arsenal to push those waves back a bit faster. And it's pretty good for the wave play here. Stitches is doing something very similar with the Regeneration Master now on level 1 and then going for the particular talent on level 4 as well. Our Aragi with his pretty particular Stitches builds there. He's the only player that you will see that does stuff like that. Most of the players that use Stitches stick either with a sustain build or go for a slam build for the extra damage. You will occasionally see the hybrid between the level 1 to 7 talent focusing more on sustain, and then later on 13 and 16 going for slam and trying to get the extra stun in there, especially when you're up against an Azebo that runs Ravenous Spirit, for example. That's a bit more common, but that's the only hybrid build that is commonly used. Araragi oftentimes experimenting with builds a little bit more and playing stuff. Not quite sure if it's really helpful in these cases, but he is pretty... I mean, he's getting good results with that, so why not? We're having in the same time also Echo Paddle being used on ETC once again, so it should be a Guitar Hero on level 7. Rhaegar is going for the standard build here. So far, the only thing that we can really say about Wraith in this particular case is that he is playing a very, very solid match today, very solid performance by him. The substitute player for the team, and yeah, subbing in for Kumado Boss, who apparently couldn't make it at the qualifier date. Black Scorp in the mid lane on his Nazebo right now, trying to get, of course, the Shrine, level 7 for both of them, hitting not a single kill in the game thus far. We're having, in the best of 3 series, still the lead for El Nexo, of course. And right now on level 7 we're seeing the extra aura talent on Vortex going straight for the 2-shot aura, Gitbin on Azebo, Cleanse on Uther, and for level 7 on the side of SK Gaming it is First Aid on Tychus. I mean, with Tychus in general you always had that second hit point bar available to you until Blizzard changed the heroic ability, until they changed Odin. Oh, good move against Vortex here, even with a stun. There's just, this is like the ping pong maneuver that we've been talking about. You power slide in, you pace melt somebody away, suddenly there comes a Stitches hook, you do the same thing over and over again, and even though you try to escape and stun out one of your opponents, there's just no escaping that situation, and that is the big plus that you have when you are playing with Stitches and ETC in one combo. Right now there's Wraith just getting into position down here, moving back for a bit of mana. We're having both of them closing in on level 10 right now, since they just reached level 9. At the top lane, Lucifer going up against the Moni still. And with Battle Momentum and Rancor, you have a lot of synergy there. I mean, for most players, you will really just see them go for the multi-shot build in this case. But right now, with Rancor taken, this is oftentimes an indicator that you want to go for Nexus Frenzy on level 20 and not just going to go for the Bolt of the Storm. So that is something that we could see in this case as well. Rancor gives you a bit of additional movement speed. It also, of course, gives you, it gives you a lot of power. And with that, you can really also synergize well with Battle Momentum, since Battle Momentum is all about the cooldown reduction. There's the Rain of Vengeance in this case right now for the additional stun, and they can always use that as a follow-up there as well. So we're having Stage Dive taken, Commandeer Odin, and the Ancestral Healing as the talents. No Illidan in this game, kind of for the first time that Snitch had to play a different hero there. And we're having on the other side Wandering Keg for Jen being used, the Divine Storm, Ravenous Spirit, it's Starfall and Tyrande, which is going to be extremely important in a lot of those fights and later on to get a good position. Yeah, it's all about the shrines right now, with the top lane Lucifer trying to capture this one out. Hardcam versus hardcam. So the top lane, where you mostly see tanks going up against each other, is usually the most balanced out lane. Oh, ETC already jumping in at the bottom here. Trying to go maybe for Grandpa Kette. Face Melt. Oh, Cleanse being used, but it doesn't really help him. He is going down, and that is a very important kill for SK, because that could give them a Dragon Knight, depending on how they're working the top lane. But they have to contest it against Black Scorp and Lucifer, and well, that's not really going to happen with only Araragi being there, so unless they rotate someone up to the top lane, they won't be able to get the DK just yet, but they might be able to get one of the camps, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Bot lane, why we see so many tri-lanes there, is pretty simple. You try to just get access to the hard camp, you try to get access to those 2 siege giant camps, and that's exactly what's going on right now. Level 12.5 already for SK, and with that hard camp, with a bruiser camp moving in, they have now everything that they need to just push in that wall, and that's exactly what they're doing here. Bakery, of course, would love to take down the tower, and they still get it alright. At the top, we're having Stitches and Chen going up against each other. Mid lane is still being contested here, but the 13 talent is now suddenly on the board, and that makes it really difficult, at least for El Nexo, to now protect that Dragon Knight position. Because there's the Frost Shot, Relentless on Tychus. We're having Stitches still thinking about which kind of tree or talent tree he wants to go down here. For ETC, apparently a very similar situation. Usually it would be the Uber Rockstar that you take there, but we have also a couple of face melt builds that usually usually rely on a level 7 talent. And in this case, it is Relentless instead, trying to play that a lot more tanky. And bottom already taken, but now level 13 also on the board for the opponent. So Nexo is going to get that talent as well with the Lunar Blaze on Tyrande, the double sprint for Nazebo, and also for Uther. Great for the repositioning during a fight, great for like rushing in and trying to get that stun with the Divine Storm, or just simply as an escape mechanism. So there's like a lot of things that you can do with a good sprint, and it's a great talent to have. It's really nice, especially on Nazebo, who usually is one of the primary targets and doesn't really have another escape. It's really great to use that as well. Having a Giant Killer taken for Sergeant Hammer, and so far in the game not a single Dragonite just yet. 2 kills against 0 for SK Gaming, doing very well so far. They are trying to move into the mid lane once again and put up some pressure there. Up to the top so far, I mean, Lucifron, Black Scorp, Grandpa Falcon, and Vortex are still trying to find the right angle here. They just reached level 14, but they're still about nearly a level behind. The top lane has already taken by Zamoni, but if they move down to the bots, they won't be able to do too much because the rotation from El Nexo up to the top is already happening, so I don't think they will be able to take that Dragonite, but they are starting to use the position to push in the bot lane. And we have now Mega Slam taken on Araragi, so Pulverize is going to be the talent of choice on level 16. Up to the top lane, it's an exchange basically, with one fort going down against the fort. With that bot lane fort already eliminated, they could just like move on and say, okay, we're gonna take now the towers as fast as we can. Fort is down, and it's basically just both of them try to go for a push strategy. The thing is though that it looks like SK, at least for now, is quite a bit faster, especially with Raven Zamoni moving in. How exactly is El Nexo going to deal with this? I mean, they take the wall down just now, but their keep is already being attacked. This could be a rush for the core, and I think it's going to be one that El Nexo is definitely going to... They're going to lose. They're going to lose that. They need to go back, and they need to go back fast. They need to TP back, and only Lucifron is doing it though. They cannot out DPS that. That's just not going to happen. What are they doing? El Nexo is just screwing that up. Lucifron is trying to keck them away, but it's not going to be enough. This is going to be game. El Nexo completely miscalculated there. 30% still on the core for SK Gaming. 0 for El Nexo. This is GG, and we're going to see game number 3 here in the finals between El Nexo and SK Gaming.
Oh my god, Dragonshire ending with a base race and El Nexo completely miscalculating what was happening there. SK just pushing in and being way too strong, dishing out so much damage against the core, and El Nexo just realized just way too late what was going on there, that they didn't really have a chance to outpush their opponents. So this game suddenly with a very interesting conclusion there, and something that I personally didn't really see coming. SK Gaming just going full ham on those structures and realizing that they would be the first to take down the core. And of course we had still Lucifron jumping back on Chen, trying to use the Wandering Kek to maybe push them back long enough so that the rest of his team could out DPS them, but that didn't really work out. The Wandering Kek of course disrupting the attack to a certain extent, but it just was not enough to stop that onslaught. SK Gaming taking game number 2 and tying the series up, and that of course leads us into a last map between the two teams to find out who will take that top spot for the Dreamhack Bucharest tournament with Heroes of the Storm, and a lot of prize money on the line there. SK Gaming going up against El Nexo once again, and let's head straight into map number 3.
Game on, ladies and gentlemen. It is Blackheart's Bay, the last map in the best of 3 series here. We're having SK Gaming going up against El Nexo, and El Nexo really miscalculated in the last game. That base race did not work out in their favor. SK won it, and now we are on the last map. To the left side, the Spanish team with Vortex on Tyrande, Black Scorp on Vala, Grandpa Ket on Malfurion, Lucifron on Chen, and Falcon on Sergeant Hammer. To the right side of the map, it's Araragi for SK Gaming on Stitches, Snitch on Tychus, Rave on Rhaegar, duh. I mean, like, he did seriously not play a single other hero. Only Rhaegar the entire day, and he does it well. Bakery on Nazebo and Zamoni on ETC. So that ETC Stitches comp once again. And yeah, it's Blackheart's Bay, the final map for the tournament, the final map for the qualifier. And this is going to be an interesting one at that. Zamoni, Rave, Snitch, and Bakery up at the top are currently doing their thing. We're having the rest of the team just waiting for the first chest, not even bothering with the top lane experience, but just like all heading straight into the mid lane instead. So yeah, at this point we're having Ugi with a stun here, not hitting any of the heroes, but they're just worried about taking that lane down as fast as they can. The bot lane, we're having those packs going up against each other with our Ragi and Lucifron at the same time. Up there to the top, we're currently having Gran Paqueta dealing... oh, Stitch is actually killed down at the bottom. The rotation taking him down. Blackscorp and Vortex were present there. And the top lane on mid, we're having the chest going straight to Stitch. What are they doing? Not quite sure what... oh, was waiting for Zamoni to get the coins. Alright, didn't want to move in and get the rest of the coins just yet. So the coins all on ETC, who has the best survival rate probably. For now, Zamoni with the power slide and with the face melt. Good escape skills in general. So yeah, trying to get all the coins on one hero so that they can use that later. In regards to the talents, we have once again Vala with a multi-shot build, not the red Rancor like mix that we saw in the last game. Bakery was playing the hero. Lucifron and Araragi going up against each other at the bottom lane now. No big surprises when it comes to the talents here. Bit of a lead in experience now for Nexo, but like nothing really like too fancy. It's basically just which lane pushed faster. That's all there is to it. So both of the teams, of course, trying to maintain those heartbeats on the lanes. On this map in particular, it's all about just trying to take those structures down as fast as you can. Of course, preferably without the use of the Ghost Ship Barrages, but if you can't help it, then you will just turn those coins and try to get that faster. Especially since the Ghost Ship Barrage always follows the same particular scheme. You want to make sure that you put some pressure onto the mid lane, especially on those towers. If you drop one of the towers like below half health, then the first Ghost Ship Barrage is going to take the entire fort down. And it depends a bit on how your opponent is going to build his heroes. If you have a mule against you, then you need to make sure that you do that, because if not, then the mule is just going to heal that up. And there is the potential for a mule there. I mean, you have not only Tyrande, but also Malfurion on the side of Nexo. Both of them have access to mules if they want them. And we could see a mule on a Zebo, I suppose, with level 7. But let's see how they're going to play that out. Rave and Zamoni, the two heroes, they are trying to get those coins, at least for now. At the bot lane was again the attempt to take our Ragi down. That was a close one. Like, that hook attempt there, which didn't really have a chance of accomplishing anything at all, nearly killed Stitches. I mean, if that hits, if that one of those grenades with the multi-shot hits, then Araragi is down. So in that case, he was actually a bit lucky there. But yeah, we have Gran Paqueta in the mid lane, just barely surviving that push as well. So both of the teams really getting into aggressive positions and trying to get a kill. They already took down the first tower, they're going straight for the second one. That's exactly what I've been talking about earlier. With them taking all of these structures down, the first barrage is going to do a lot. And currently it seems like Malfurion is thinking about taking Mule, so that's something that they could definitely do there. But instead it is Enduring Growth. So Gran Paqueta deciding against it. At the bot lane also the entire wall is gone. So a lot of structures already taken out. Chests spawning again, and so far we had only 5 coins turned in. That hard camp that was captured earlier on down here is really doing some work against the towers over there. Mule taken by Nazebo, by the way, sacrificing Gitbin for that tower. Having in the mid lane against an attempt to turn in with Blackscorp having 10 coins already. Rave is there, and yeah, interrupts at least for now. Zamoni has 12 coins on his own. The top lane Falcon is still dealing with Snitch here and trying to de-push the lane as well. They have an advantage in experience now as we speak. Once again, Putrid Ground and Tenderizer taken. It is that hybrid build that Araragi really seems to like right now. There is that turn in, and well, let's look at the mid lane. There's not a single damage point on those structures, and that means that the fort is actually going to survive. And with a mule being chosen on level 7 by Nazebo, El Nexo kinda needs to start pushing in that mid lane if they really want to make sure that the fort is not going to survive there. They should be able to make that happen since they're having an experienced lead already, and that means they're going to have an easier or a faster level 10. And that should give them the power that they need for that. We're having also another hard camp taken, and now there should be a rotation happening towards the mid lane for sure. I mean, Gran Paqueta is already there, Blackscorp is on the way, has still 7 coins, Vortex is now on the way too, and they are going straight for that. Falcon is getting into position as well, the Mule is already starting to heal that up, and they know exactly that this is going to happen. So Falcon in position, starting to put the pressure in. We're having the turn in by Zamoni at the same time, getting out a first goal ship rush for his own team. There goes the first forward, and that's now level 10, nearly 11 versus 10, as the heroic abilities hit for SK Gaming as well. The score in this game is still 1-1 in this best of 3 series. We're having the level 10 talents now for the two teams. And that means that we're seeing Strafe being used, Wandering Cack, Tranquility, Napalm and Starfall, and on the side of SK Gaming it's instead Putrid Bile, Dear Odin. We're having Ancestral Healing, Ravenous Spirit, and for ETC with the split push potential here, the good old Stage Dive, which will later on then just transform into the Rock God. There's the Moni, and they put Grand Paquette in a really shitty spot just over there in that corner where he can't escape. Blackscope was trying to push them away, but it was a bit too late. Of course, it does a lot of damage here with Vala using her strafe, but still not really enough single target DPS to get a counter kill against what just happened. And SK is going to try and capitalize on that situation by taking the boss here, and they should be able to do that. And at the same time, we're having losing from pushing the bottom lane, just basically saying, okay, listen guys, if you take the boss, I will at least take down the fort at the bot lane, because you're going to do a lot of pressure up at the top, and this is what they're doing right now. I mean, right now we're having them with the turn in again, and that turning here is going to start to do quite a bit of damage towards the top lane, and should also eliminate that particular fort here, since not only the first tower is down, but the second one was damaged quite a bit as well, and we also had that gate nearly eliminated. So right now we're having Vortex and Falcon moving in for that. Lucifron at this point in time, I mean, for him, he really needs to make sure that in the next few fights he can take them away as fast as he can. We're having that setup already happening. Oh, Lucifron is getting rooted here, and that's a big problem. There goes the first keep, and the boss, or the first fort, and the boss is being taken out as well. So 13 versus 12, that puts the extra talent in. And with the extra talent, you really need to go out on the map and try to take a few of those camps. You try to rotate in. You could even think about trying to contest the mercenary camp over here, but they would really want to deepen enemy territory. And the 13 talent is not far away from SK Gaming either. So instead, they're just like rotating towards the tribute, sorry, not the tribute spot, but towards the turn-in point, and can get rid of a few coins, or get that camp at the bot lane that just jumped up again. Feral Lunge level 13 has now been taken, and well, from the way that the game is going so far right now, we're having once again Mega Smash taken for Stitches, which makes of course like sense if you really want to get that extra stun in. They don't have Nazebo against them though, so they could have gone for a different move there, and you could have added Relentless on Stitches and then the Fishing Hook on level 13, but considering that it is currently a setup with 2 tanks, you don't really need to go for that. Stitches can just use that extra damage here to get that out, especially since they really need that as well against those waves that are pushing against them. So that always helps quite a lot. So right now we're having already Lucifron and the rest of the team in a position over here where they could get that additional camp, but the hook is hitting, and that's of course the problem, and also the thing that you have to be aware of. And they actually did that really well, making sure that the hook couldn't hit them, and we're having Lucifron, Blackscorps moving in once again, enduring growth already taking here. Frost Shot on Vala, and also the Lunar Blaze. So much pressure right now with all those additional camps moving in. They could even keep that up a bit longer, I guess, and try to take down one of the keeps, but they have a 1 level advantage, and now with those chests on the board, you just play it safe. You move back and take the coins, at least the ones you can. Zamoni has another 12 coins again, and they're already turning them in with Vala. Zamoni once again being like the hero that tries to take most of the coins here. Stitches is, ETC is just one of those heroes that is extremely difficult to take down with Face Melt, with Power Slide, and also of course with another escape mechanism thanks to Stage Dive. So the coins are pretty safe on him. We have Feral Lunge taken on Vega, and in general it's just like about the movements on the map and getting all these experience right now. If you can get to those waves before the towers take them down completely, you're usually in a pretty decent spot. Oh, there comes Lucifron jumping in. He might have to use his ult, doesn't even have to do that. Wandering Keck is great for escapes like that. There wasn't a single heroic ability sacrificed for SK Gaming on the other hand, so now they get the turn in thanks to Zamoni being stayed in the back, and that helped. Double healing ward is going to be doing a lot of work in this game as well, since we don't have a single healing ward. Well, we have healing totem on Rhaegar, which is even a bit better than the healing ward itself, since the cooldown is just lower. As you can see there, cooldown is 45 seconds, whereas we have 60 seconds cooldown on a normal healing ward. So in general, most of the skills that Rhaegar has are a bit better than the normal ones, especially of course since the healing totem is also a level 1 talent and not a level 4 talent. So that just adds to that particular instance. We're having, with the 16 talents faster, now an opportunity for El Nexo to maybe, boss is not going to be up for another minute, so they can't really do anything about that, but they get the easy turn in. And they are going to get now another ship barrage with that, and that is going to attack the mid lane. It's always mid lane first, then the top lane, and then the bottom lane, depending of course on how many of the structures you're able to take down. 16 talent should also give us a lot of additional utility on the side of SK Gaming, with pulverizing stitches being chosen. Then we're going to see blood for blood at least once on Rhaegar here, and for Nazeebo it is most likely going to be the specialized toxins again. It's pretty much the standard builds that we're having right now. We should actually see also an additional mule being dropped towards the keep in just a few seconds, since the barrage is not going to drop the keep entirely, and then Nazeebo really comes into play. I mean, if you sacrifice a talent like Gitbin for Mule, you really need to make sure that you drop as many of them as you can just to make up for that talent. So Mule should be being used towards that keep, and there it is, already being dropped. But the entire map is currently completely, I don't want to say dominated, but it's a bit of an advantage that we're having for El Nexo rushing in for another turn in already. We're having level 60 now finally also on the board for SK Gaming, and with that they're having the Slam talent as already talked about earlier. We're having for Tigers also another position where he goes straight into the stone skill. It makes it a bit easier for him to survive those fights, especially since Blizzard took away that extra hit point bar on Odin. You have to play Tigers a lot more carefully now than you could before. So it's more like Tacitus all than anything else. Nice escape by Blackscorp. There's a Moni jumping into. Oh, that root nearly hit him. But Blackscorp suddenly in trouble, and he goes down first. Very well played. Lucifer a bit too late with that Wandering Cack to carry them away. And now they have to retreat. They can't really do anything in regards to damage. Lucifer is trying to lead them into another direction right now. He might die, but even if he does, at least the rest of the team was able to get away. And that also allowed the boss to get some extra time in there, during which he just moves into the wall right now and tries to take that one down. So they have to rotate over and defend against it. They got the 2 kills in, and that's 3 kills for SK and 1 kill for El Nexo. But when it comes to pressure, we still have El Nexo in the better position. They have a very, very nice push going on in the bottom lane, and it is at least going to do some damage. It's not going to kill the keep or anything, but it's going to put some damage onto that keep. And we're also having in the mid lane, of course, still the keep available. The mule is going to help out with all of that. So if you're in the position that they are in right now, yes, you know already that there is going to be some damage that you can put onto the structures, but the mule is going to heal up for that. The best way for El Nexo right now to really take down one of the keeps is to turn in the coins as well. And of course, with one of the heroes still being down a few seconds ago, they can't really move in. If you have 5 coins on a hero like Tyrande, you have to be extremely careful about your positioning, since it's way too easy to drop Tyrande. The hit point pool just isn't big enough to keep her alive long enough in a fight like that if she's exposed, but they are trying to, at least for now, interrupt SK as much as they can. Coins spawning on the map with those chests is of course another problem that they're facing right now. Do you really want to take that fight? Araragi already in a good spot for an additional hook. But with that happening right now, I mean, if they fight and take down Zamoni, that would be great, but they are missing out on most of the hooks already. Blackscorp being saved by him mounting up. If he would have just continued walking, that hook would have hit for sure. Retreating, they're trying to move in now. Araragi immediately with a Putrid Bile. There comes Snitch with his own ult. Oh, and Blackscorp dies again on Vala. Not the battle they want to be facing here. And a great ult once again on Nazeebo. Killing Sergeant Hammer as well. SK is doing work. They're really doing work right now. 5 kills against 1. The last fight turned everything around for them, and with all the coins that they have, they should easily be able to get at least like 2 turn-ins if they get the chest and the mid lane as well. At the bot lane, there's the mule. They really need to keep that alive, and so far they've been doing a decent job. They steal the camps away from the opponent. If you have that map control, you should always try to do that. Try to have a look at what's happening on the left side of the map in this case, what's happening on the side of your opponent, steal those away. Zamoni is in a position where he can easily get a camp on his own. At the top lane we have a Bruiser camp moving in. An experienced lead now for SK Gaming too, and well, they should have another turn in pretty easily. That camp is still doing work thanks to the fact that we are not having a lot of ammunition on the keep here. The keep actually is not attacking anything either at this point. Well, Wave at the top, they're trying to push that in. They need to be careful. I mean, yes, doing damage is great, but they still have 22, 23 coins, and they need to start turning those in. Down here, the keep is finally starting to attack again. It's not being repaired anymore, so just barely in range. They get the turn in, and with that turn in, the mid lane is going to be attacked. And as you can see, they do not have a mule. Nexo doesn't have a mule, so they're going to lose the fort, or going to lose the keep. And yep, that's the first thing that's going to happen there. There it is. That keep is going to be lost, and SK has a really good spot, not only because of that slight experience lead that they're having here, but also because even after that turn in, they have another huge amount of coins there. They have 11 coins after this. That is going to put them very, very close to even dropping another keep, which would be the top keep in that case, especially since Zamoni can just like rotate from one of the small pirate camps to the top left to the top right and get all of those. So that's going to be one of the things that he really needs to make sure he does. The level 20 talent then is going to give them such a big boost when it comes to DPS and survivability that they should be able to take fights quite easily too, and that will most likely result in a very easy turn-in for them. And yep, there's the keep in the mid lane, already destroyed. Top lane, as mentioned earlier, is already pressured. And level 20 any second just now, with them needing 18 coins now for an additional turn. And they have most of them. They have not all of them, but they have most of them. The boss is going to spawn another 20 seconds, which is another big deal, of course. Mules constantly being dropped at the bot lane from SK. Very important, and helping them out to keep that alive. Level 20 talent now with the Storm Shield on the Stitches, and that is gonna make him super, super tanky. Not only with all that DPS, thanks to the slam, but tankiness as well. The Storm Shield on Rhaegar is great to keep the heroes alive. Ravenous Spirit, or the Annihilating Spirit, is going for the extra DPS. ETC with the Rock God has a much shorter reaction time now to jump into those fights and really do his thing. And that's exactly what we're gonna see soon enough. They can't really, do they get a... Okay. This is seeing if they are maybe able to get one of their hooks in, but as you can see, they had to leave the coins behind. Chen just moving back in the last second. For Nexo, it's all about dodging fights now. Dodging the fights, getting level 20, and that is the time when you should turn in as SK Gaming. They really should make those turn-ins happen right now, even if it's not enough coins. Wasting, like investing that time is worth it, because if you lose a big fight and you lose like 10 coins, then you have a lot of problems there. And suddenly everything can... Like on Blackheart's Bay in particular, making a comeback happen if your opponent doesn't turn in the coins is quite easy. You just have to win one fight, you gain all those coins, and then it's a huge problem. Oh, the backdoor attempt here, but the TP back is already happening. All of them TPing back. And yeah, was a really nice move. I mean, this is one of those strategic tools that you have at your disposal if you realize that your opponent is doing something that you don't want him to do. In this case, trying to capture the boss at the top and getting into a good position. You just like attack the core, or you try to just sell the idea of you attacking the core to your opponent. If they buy it, they will just like simply TP back, and that wins you a lot of time. And in that case, they are going straight for that boss and try to fight there. But now level 20 talents for both of them are available, and that Storm, that additional Hardened Shield is now on Chen, and that makes Chen into a massive, massive tank. He's a great talent there. For 4 seconds, you're nearly invulnerable, since you negate 75% of the damage done to you. So you can really just jump in and soak up as much as possible. And we have a lot of mobility in here now as well, with 2 heroes going for Bolt of the Storm. Malfurion and Vala, both of them, especially Vala, has been under a lot of pressure in this game. That's going to be making it very easy for her to get out of trouble in those fights. And let's not forget that we have another great right-click hero in this composition for Nexo. With Nexus Frenzy taken on Sergeant Hammer, you can do a ton of damage. I mean, you can really, really wreck face. The turn-in attempt. Oh, ETC is there. Vortex is nearly dead, and he dies, but he still gets his ult through at least, going for the Starfall here. It's still a 5 versus 4 this early. They're trying to retreat. Black Score with the Bolt of the Storm. Lucifer, he needs to get away there somehow. Has used his ult already. 9 coins on the hero. The Mana Mule being dropped. Stitch is actually dying. Up here to the top, it's still Snitch trying to take them down with those nukes. Falcon is body blocked and dies as well. Well, Chen was trying, or was at least able to escape, and now what is SK gonna do here? They still have a few coins on Zamoni, 6 in total. That is going to be an additional turn-in, and with that, they should be able to drop the keep. The turn-in alone is not gonna drop the keep, by the way. So just like getting those cannons in there is not gonna help you eliminating the keep, but if you go up to the top and you capture the boss, then he is going to just like do the rest of the damage. So far, El Nexo seems to be, yeah, they seem to be a bit in a bad spot right now. I mean, what are you gonna do? Are you really gonna fight a 3 versus 4? Do you want to do that? If the boss is gonna help you, then maybe you can accomplish that. As long as you waste the time of your opponent, that would be already a big victory. And now, nice ult there by Black Scorp, doing quite a lot of damage, buying time for the rest of the team to revive. And by now, we have Tyrande actually back. Really good move by El Nexo. They might be able to kill one of the heroes here. They've forced out the ancestral healing already. Zamoni jumps in again. As long as Black Scorp gets away, everything's fine, I suppose. Black Scorp with another Bolt of the Storm here. Vortex rushing straight into the wall of zombies. Apparently did not see that happening. And yeah, that was really well done. I mean, SK was ahead. They had the 3 versus 4 situation, and they couldn't really accomplish anything during that time. Nice dodge on the hook. Again, Zamoni with a Rock God using his power slide, but he is extremely isolated, or at least was, and took a lot of damage there. Raga with a Putrid Bile as Lucifron is trying to get one of the targets into position. But Wandering Keg, very disruptive, but Bakery was waiting the ult out and had on the time to use the Ravenous Spirit, and Black Scorp is dying to it. Black Scorp down, but Stitches as well. They're moving in again. Oh, so much damage against El Nexo, Grand Paquete, Vortex, Falcon. They're all so low. Lucifer still with 9 coins has to move away here. 8 kills against 3 overall, and Falcon in particular doing so much work here. I mean, the DPS on him, 50,000 by now. Only Nazeebo has done more, and that's basically thanks to the Ravenous Spirit and the Annihilating Spirit that he's been able to constantly get into those big team fights. Good stun against Bakery. There's just not enough burst damage that they can really use to take somebody out there. It's still a 4 versus 4 situation. Still coins for both of the teams. We're still seeing ETC rotating through the map, different positions, trying to just like team up with the rest of them, but at the same time also concerned about getting a bit more experience and maybe pushing a lane back. The mid lane and the top lane, both of the keeps have been eliminated by now, and these catapults are starting to push hard against the core as El Nexo is trying to take the boss up at the top lane. 8 kills against 3 still. And the forts, they're still all there. The fight at the boss, but we have the core losing hit points, or about to lose hit points here, as Black Scorp moves in, takes down the 2 catapults. Up the top, the boss is nearly dead. Rave, they know of course what's going on there, but El Nexo with a high risk, high reward play, trying to capture the boss, and they get it. They actually get it, but they're losing Falcon. They're losing Falcon at the same time. Bakery again with the old Black Scorp moves in. They're really taking the fight. The ancestral healing saving everybody. Black Scorp moves away. Once again, they lost Falcon, but so far they didn't lose anybody else. Lucifron still has 10 coins. He's going for Bakery. Might actually be able to kill Bakery. Vala still rushing away here. Oh, but a good hook by Aragi. Black Scorp dying. And they didn't kill anybody just yet. Zamoni has the 4 coins. Can they maybe take him out? Vortex is dead. And this is going from bad to worse. I mean, right now the core being attacked once again, losing the shields. El Nexo has so much pressure. 11 kills against 3. Once again, Lucifron being hooked. He has 10 coins. He cannot lose those coins. Oh, yes, SK needs 20 coins until they get another ship, but 10 coins, that would be half the battle, quite literally, and we already have chests up on the map, so that would be 20 coins right there. 98% on the core. We have Sergeant Hammer back in just a few seconds, but over here that boss is doing work as well. The boss that they captured out took down a keep, and we're having SK moving straight into the mid lane. They're trying to finish it right out. I'm not sure if they can. I'm really not sure if they can, because Sergeant Hammer is back. And look at the damage. Snitch is down. Snitch is down, and Rave is dying as well. Aragi going for the core here, trying to drop it. Bakery is dying first. 3 heroes down, 30% on the core. They don't have a mule. Lucifron is pushing Zamoni back. The rest of them are killing Stitches. Oh my god. 18% on the core, 14% on the core. 14%, and they dropped 4 heroes. 4 heroes are down. Lucifon is... How long did he have those 10 coins now? I mean, for how long did he really have those 10 coins? And what was Zamoni doing? Jumping into the same spot. Rhaegar is just laughing, and yep, that was a pretty big fail by Zamoni. I don't think he intended to do that. They could go straight for the mid lane, they're doing exactly that. Well, he might not have been thinking about Zamoni here with his Rock God move, but maybe instead of what just like happened regarding the core. Myth 14%, this is where Falcon positions himself between 2 of the keeps, goes straight for it, and this might be game. This might be it, and it looks like it is. Yes! Once again, the battle changing, and suddenly it is SK Gaming losing the game. Nexo with a 2-1 victorious in the best of 3 series here at the Dreamhack Bucharest Qualifier.
Oh my god, what an ending there. Again, we have one of those base race scenarios. Well, not quite, but we have at least SK trying to push in once more and taking down that core. They've been leading in this game for so long, and they take down the core to 14%, but suddenly all of them die. Nexo, they are able to protect their core. They take SK down and just turn things around, go cross map and finish the game. What a finish of the series here. An absolutely insane race, and Nexo, they really take the 2-1 victory against SK Gaming here. The Spanish team doing so extremely well once more. I mean, an absolutely amazing best of 3. Not only the second game where we saw that base race happening, but then also game number 3 where SK at the beginning is just doing so well, but miscalculates once more, and suddenly Nexo gets an opportunity to finish the game and they pull it off. They win the best of 3 series against SK Gaming. Nexo, the Spanish Armada, once again victorious on the European server. They take the best of 3 and they win the final here at the Dreamhack Bucharest Qualifier. So good job by them, really well done, and a very entertaining series for sure. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that, and if you did, make sure that you give the YouTube video a thumbs up and also subscribe to Khaldor TV if you haven't done that yet. If you have any question about the lineups, make sure that you post a comment in the comment section. And I guess I'll see you guys next time with more Heroes of the Storm content on Khaldor TV. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.